All right. All right, what's up, everybody? We are back. Season 2 of the Silver and Bro Show. I am your host, good old JR. I got my brother here with me today for season 2 of Raiders football. Silver and Bro Show season 2. Here we go. Bro, it's nice to see you, man.
Thanks, brother.
How was your off season? Pretty fair? Pretty cool?
Pretty good. Ready for Raiders football. I'm ready to do it.
All right, well, let's do it. So, as always, new season. Not the way we wanted as far as Raider fans. Didn't expect it to go the way we thought. We got off to a hot start, 6-3. Kind of faltered at the end, finishing the season at 8-8. And this was a very, very busy offseason for the Las Vegas Raiders. I mean, very big. Starting off right away, probably one of the biggest, not the biggest trade, but one of the biggest trades in Raiders history. Giving up Ronnie Hudson for a third rounder. Gabe Jackson also gone. Trent Brown also traded. Your thoughts, man, on the offensive line just being totally gutted?
Oh, man. I mean, if you really sit back and look at it, the coaches keep saying they wanted to get younger. They wanted to get faster. Obviously, they didn't add the people that we wanted, but we did end up getting one of them in the draft, first round pick, a decent center, and somebody, pretty cheap to cover that right guard position. So, I mean, I feel like we'll be okay, but only time will tell.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Everybody's kind of like, man, I can't believe the Raiders gutted them. They can't, really, we didn't gut anybody. Other than Hudson, Gabe was kind of in the on again, off again with injuries, and Trent Brown. That's a story that we can finally close as far as Raider Nation goes. That's a story that we can finally
at the
close.
end of the day, if you're struggling to get to 8-8, it's pretty much just like anybody's kind of free to go. We weren't going to multiple Super Bowls with them,
Yeah, no, absolutely. But busy off season. One of the biggest first names in free agency when the time was allowed to hit free agency market, Yannick Ngakoue, first day, bam, just signed. Thoughts?
Yeah, decent pickup, man. Kind of sad to say, but on one of my notes here today, it's leaving Cleve Farrell out of a spot. But you bring in a guy with that caliber. You want to see what he could do on the field, and everything he's done so far. On the practice field, and speaking like a true vet, came at a decent price too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Cap was kind of a worrisome thing heading into this free agency, but it seems like the Raider got a lot of depth for a very good price. And I say that because not only did they bring in Yannick Ngakoue, they also brought in Willie Snead, another veteran wide receiver, which we needed. Kenyon Drake, a backup running back, so that way Josh Jacobs can get his breather in, because for the last 2 seasons, there's been some humps of injuries that he's gotten, and he's had to miss some games. So I think Kenyon Drake is really going to bring some pressure off Josh Jacobs to really
fill that void.
Fill that void of like, hey, I thought Devontae Booker would have been great coming back, but I guess the price wasn't there, man.
Well, that Rakes kid, 35, 36,
yeah,
on the practice squad.
He's there.
Somebody that I'm looking
he's
at.
there. Yeah, he's there.
If to carry the load, if
anybody goes down, he's there now. I think the best acquisition that the Raiders got out of everybody, the best one, it's not even a player itself. It's a defensive coordinator in the name of Gus Bradley. I really liked him. I thought he was going to be one of those guys, I don't know how it was going to go down when Paul Gunther left. I thought, okay, well, either system change is going to happen, either we're going to bring in somebody like a Wade Phillips, or the rumors were Wade Phillips. We were going to change defensive schemes. I'm really glad that Chucky stuck to his guns and brought in a coordinator that runs a 4-3 and a way better scheme than Paul Gunther, in my opinion.
Right. Let me jump in there really quick. From what I understand, I've listened to a couple players talk about him already, and he's really, really like that type of guy that cares for his players, that will be there for them, and also, be somebody that they can really look up to and really, get out of this funk, man.
Oh, I
we
mean,
need somebody. That defense has been horrible.
yeah,
It's been
no,
horrible
I mean,
for years, and I'm over it.
yeah, I mean, you and a lot of people in Raider Nation are over it, but I have full faith in Gus Bradley. When there was names coming out, like, all right, well, there's this guy. I wasn't really big on the Wade Phillips train, believe it or not. I was kind of like, well, there's a reason he's been out of the league for a year. It's just maybe the game's already kind of passed him by. Don't get me wrong, one of the best defensive coordinators ever. I just think we need to go younger in this sense. I mean, define younger as far as defensive coordinators, but I like the Gus Bradley pickup. I think it's really going to show different schemes and different outlooks. And really, they did an amazing job, again, adding depth and all tiers everywhere. I mean, when you can add a Casey Hayward, a Yannick Ngakoue, you can draft the Trayvon Morig. I mean, it's good. It's starting to – let's put it this way. Like you mentioned earlier, we're struggling to get to 8-8. So at this point, what could it hurt to bring in new faces to the team? Go. You're fine. You're fine.
No, it's okay. So look, going back to it with the whole Gus Bradley thing, it's the way I really feel about it is, you know what, anybody at this point better than Paul Gunther. Paul Gunther was just a disaster waiting to happen, and at this point, it is what it is. We're looking for something better, and little by little, I mean, it's getting there. And then also with all the young players that they're bringing in through the draft, it's exciting to see, man. But I will say, and you guys have heard it a lot of times already, the linebacker position. It's something that has not been
addressed in a long time.
Yeah.
It's I'm not gonna lie to you. I am not gonna lie to you. Dallas beat us to the punch again. As drafting Micah Parsons, one of our guys. And they beat us to the punch again. Last year, it should have been CeeDee Lamb. We took Henry Ruggs. This year, we needed a linebacker, and they took the best one. In my opinion, the best defensive player in this whole draft.
No, but it's good, though, also, if you guys really kind of think about it. A couple of years ago, we drafted one in the third round, and he's looking to be an amazing pick. Maybe you guys heard of him, Tanner Muse?
Yeah, good joke, bro. Good joke. Yeah, again. We'll get into that a little bit later, but my thing was, and people that did follow us throughout the draft process and everything, I kept banging the table for Sylvain Collins, the kid out of Tulsa. And, when he was slipping hard. And I'm thinking, okay, once he got past 13, once he got past Philadelphia and somebody else, I forget the picks, I was like, okay, this is it. We're finally going to get our linebacker of the future. Arizona takes someone,
and you know what? And all jokes aside, or whatever, I really feel like the teams really got their finger on the pulse with the defensive back position. If you think about it, Morig, Abram, Mullen, Arnett. And those are 4 up and coming players that are really going to start to show things. Maybe from here on out, if they could really, really just sit back and look defensive tackle and linebacker for a couple drafts, maybe they can make it happen. But
yeah, as far as draft picks, I think we can all speak for Raider Nation. It's not that we're, how can I put it? Well, let's just not sugarcoat it. They're not hitting on picks. They're really not.
Yeah.
You don't draft. We drafted 2 guys in the 3rd round last year that did not play one single snap of regular season football for us. Not one.
Yeah.
Tanner Muse and Lynn Bowden. You don't just – if you're a team like New England, Seattle, teams that are promising to go to the Super Bowl, you can waste 3rd rounders. But when you're bottom feeders like the Raiders, the Jaguars, the Jets, teams like that.
The Cowboys.
You really can't mess up 3rd rounders. You need to hit every single – in the sense of the Raiders, and this is what I really mean, and this is going to sound, funny, for teams like that are down in their luck, like snake-bitten franchises like Atlanta, the Raiders, you damn near need to draft 3 Hall of Famers, 2 Pro Bowlers, and 2 depth players, because you're a team that's been in the dumps for way too long, and the Raiders just somehow managed to screw it up by letting go of 2, trading one and releasing one. And from what I hear as of today, Tanner Muse is not even back on the practice squad.
Yeah, he already. I got word he signed with Seattle.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, there it is. I mean, that's news to me. But like I said, if anybody's on the hot seat this year, it ain't Gruden, it ain't Derek Carr, it's Mike Mayock. This draft class has to perform, and they have to perform really well in order for Mike Mayock to, I'm sorry to say this, to have a career anywhere in the NFL.
Yeah.
Now, because the NFL Network, they're set. They don't need another guy to come back and bring like mock drafts and all that stuff. They got their guys set. The way you've been drafting, you don't deserve another shot to be an NFL general manager if you do get fired.
If you think about it, man, I think he focuses a lot on attitude and, you know, what they could bring to the table. And sometimes it's just like, you just got to look for just sheer talent. You know what I mean? Sometimes when they have the talent, but they have, you know, the problems or the red flags, you know, I mean, God, does that to say that every single player with red flags can never make it? I mean, I don't know. You're just always looking for that clean cut guy.
And, you know, that's the thing. I could understand, you know, you want an attitude and you don't want problems in the locker room.
Yeah.
That's fine. But sometimes you just got to take that. You got to take that one red flag out of 53. If one red flag is going to kill your man of 53, then personally, do you really deserve to be an NFL general manager?
You said it, bro. You said it. He's got one more year. Let's see what this class does. Looks like a decent class. Let's just, you know, let's hope. Let's really hope, man, because they need it.
Now, let's talk about this class. This class was, to say the least, very interesting. Very, very interesting. And again, we're going to go back to Mike Mayock here in a second. So in the first round, you know, Alex Leatherwood.
Very upset.
Okay. Now, very upsetting because it's not that we're upset of where, you know, it's not that upset that we drafted him. We're upset of where he got drafted. Because when you look at the names available at that time, Tevin Jenkins, Christian Darrisaw, Dundon from North Dakota State, a lot of other guys that were available too. That's already 3 players that a lot of people have way higher grades than Alex Leatherwood. And you're going to take him at 17. And again, Mike Mayock, I don't know if he says this because he wants to get fired or if he says it because it's like, look, we had calls, but we were really strong on Alex Leatherwood. Okay, that's fine. But you're kind of playing for your job here. You're kind of fighting for your job here.
And also to jump in there, I mean, I don't think any of those calls were coming to get Leatherwood. I mean, you know what I mean? I wish that was the reality, you know, but I don't think so.
I mean, for Tevin Jenkins to fall into the second, I mean, okay. That just kind of shows you the depth of the offensive line class this year, and you took not even a guy who was even being talked about in the first round.
Maybe not that much. Maybe in the top 20.
I mean,
top 20, I'd say so. I feel comfortable saying that more.
Okay, so I mean, again, you're drafting a guy. Okay, he's clean cut. That's fine. Is he going to work out? Only time will tell. Because it's not that we're going to miss Trent. It's just, hey, man, you got to play right tackle. I'm sorry.
But you know what? In his defense, again, yes, I was a little upset when they drafted him.
We're not mad. No, we're not mad at Alex Leatherwood.
No, for
because
sure.
we're never mad at prospects for being drafted where they were. Because it's not like they called. It's not like every prospect called them and said, "Hey, can you please draft me here?"
Yeah.
No, we're not mad at Alex Leatherwood for being drafted
or Ruggs.
It's just at that spot.
Right. Going back to it. In his defense, he did win the best offensive lineman award in college.
I get it.
You know what I mean? So, intangibles are there. Big guy, heavy, strong, good feet. And then guess what? He's got one of the best offensive line coaches in the league.
Yeah,
helping him out on the table.
And I get it. He looked very sharp in preseason. Some hiccups here, some hiccups there. He looked very sharp, but this is the real deal now. Mm-hmm. And he's not gonna go up against cats from LSU and Ole Miss. He's going to go up against the Baltimore Ravens. And you know the Ravens, they're built on defense. But we'll get to the Ravens here in a bit. The second round. Now, this was an interesting one. I thought this guy was going to go in the first.
Yeah. Sure.
But for us to snatch him in the second, Trayvon Moore, I thought that was a great pick.
Yeah.
I thought
Raider Nation was high.
Yeah, I mean, we arguably got the best safety in the draft class.
Yeah, there was a lot of people I think the nation was divided, right? Everybody wanted him in the first rounder.
Yeah.
A lot
I think a lot of people did want him in the first, but I mean, to get him in the second,
yeah. And still get your top old lineman.
I mean, there it is. I mean, 2 third rounders. The first one, the defensive lineman from Buffalo, Malcolm Kuntz. All right. Look, he looked good in preseason. He's not gonna start. I can tell you, Raider Nation, I can tell you right now, he is not gonna start. But is he gonna be a good situational pass rusher where, hey, if maybe Crosby can't go or Farrell can't get in there for defensive end, hey, you drafted him.
All right. I'm still keeping my hopes up that maybe we could be able to push him back into linebacker a little bit, having that speed, that body, all that stuff.
I think he's going to be perfect for that Gus Bradley system because he is athletic enough to play and linebacker. It's kind of like that kid, Shalik Calhoun, when we drafted him. Is he an end? Is he a linebacker? It didn't pan out, but I think this kid's got way better intangibles, and hopefully down the road, Malcolm Kuntz can be a staple to a pass rush, a non-existent pass rush that the Raiders have had here for the latter part of the decade.
For sure.
Now, 3rd round, Divine Diablo from Virginia Tech. So a lot of people are kind of wondering, who was he? Well, coming from a guy who watches ACC football, he was a safety. We're transitioning him to linebacker because he's built that way.
Right.
You remember Mark Barron out of Alabama?
Right.
They tried him at safety, then they put him a linebacker. I'm not saying that he's going to have the career of a Mark Barron, but that's where his NFL body is today. He is a linebacker.
The only reason I shrugged my shoulders, I'm sorry, I didn't even see him in preseason. I think he's been hurt.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Pretty much. I mean, now Tyree Gillespie. Now a lot of people don't know him. You should know him. He's one of those quiet kids that he's going to let the play do his talking. And everybody wants to talk about the Nate Hobbs interception against the Rams and everything. Yeah. Well, that really wouldn't have happened if Tyree Gillespie really didn't cover deep center for the receiver for Nate Hobbs to make that acrobatic catch. Right. And Gillespie was right there. And people that don't know, you better watch out. This kid can play. He is an amazing safety. He's going to be an amazing addition to an already deep safety roster that we already had. And I think he's going to be a very surprise player for this year.
From what I understand, I mean, people kind of chit-chatting here and there, but I mean, if Abrams not going to show up anymore or whatever,
get ready. That's the guy.
That's the guy. Because this guy is, young. He comes cheap. Obviously, money plays a big factor into a lot of things. And guess what? Abrams going to ask for a lot of money, coming up here pretty soon. Even though he was off that whole first year because he was hurt.
Yeah.
And he comes up, and then, it's just a hype move,
So, I mean, we'll see. But, I mean, Tyree Gillespie, he's going to be a great contributor to special teams as well. With that speed that he has and that hard hits that he knows how to do, he is a sure tackler as they come. And that's
played all 3 preseason games.
Played in all 3, and he played very well.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the sung hero of preseason for Raider Nation, Nate Hobbs.
Fucking round of applause. Where have you been all my life, man?
I mean, look, man, Nate Hobbs. Look, it's preseason. Everybody needs to calm down. I get it. It's exciting for us because we haven't seen a corner play this well in preseason in such a long time that we're starving for decent defensive plays. And Nate Hobbs was pretty much everything that you can hope for at this point.
You know what I get from him? He already has that savvy veteran demeanor about himself. Already walks around really mature. He's not a rapper on the side. I'm just saying.
I mean, look, Nate Hobbs is pretty much a sharp kid as they can hope for. And if you listen to the defensive back coach, Ron Mullins, I mean, he loves the guy. And it's very rare John Gruden gives out, ball games in preseason. He got 2. The dude got 2. So Nate, from the get-go, from the day he was drafted to the final games of preseason, they had nothing but high praises for Nate Hobbs. Now, does that mean that he's going to be the starting slot? Absolutely not. Because, again, experience and money sometimes do play a big factor. Now, who's going to start a slot nickel, slot corner, dime? Is it a Meek? Obviously, Nevin Lawson's not going to be there anymore. Is it going to be a Meek? Is it going to be Arnett? We don't know. We really do not know. Casey Hayward, can play outside and inside. But for me, let Nate Hobbs learn. Because if he's playing this well already, let him learn. And if we do need him to come in, then we need him to come in.
I'm sorry, can I jump in?
Yeah.
To me, Casey Hayward is way past his prime already. I want to see Arnett. I want to see Mullen. and I want to see Hobbs. That's why we took those draft picks, put them against the fire, man. You know what I mean? Right then and there. I mean, let's see what we got. That's what I would do.
I think for me right now, I think Arnett will start. It's just not going to be right now. I think Casey's going to start right now, just only due to the fact that he knows the system better than Arnett right now. He's got years under Gus Bradley's system, and he'll play first. Maybe down the line, maybe Arnett could start, but I say right now, just put Casey in.
You know, I'm sorry, I have to disagree. Arnett has played really, really well in the preseason. I think he's earned the chance in the spot, and let's not put his flame out. It's growing right now.
Now, remember,
and
this is the thing about Arnett, because in OTAs, people were saying that, hey, Arnett's kind of like an afterthought, and I don't know if he took that to heart because he showed something different in preseason. I mean, because if you remember OTAs, I mean, reporters, whether it was Mitchell, whether it was Jerry McDonald, whether it was, anybody out there who covered the Raiders, they were saying, you know what, Arnett's an afterthought. And that's kind of crappy to hear from a first rounder. But I get you. I understand. You got him in the first start. I get it. But
I'm sorry, but then also again, Jerry, I mean, it's year 2. I mean, it's year 2, man.
I get it. I get it.
You have a bad rookie year. I mean, a lot of players go.
For me right now, it's whoever competes in practice and who shows the better film, you got to start him. That's just how it goes. Whether that's Arnett, whether that's Casey Hayward.
Did they put Hayward in at the starting spot?
He is a starter as of right now, from what I understand. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. So, and lastly, Jimmy Morrissey. Look, there was a part of me that wanted to keep all 3 centers, Andre, Nick, and Jimmy, but we just knew that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
3 centers, one of them would probably have to be backup guard, but that was just not going to happen. I am glad he's back because he showed, excuse me, for a 7th rounder, he showed grit. He showed grit to where, you know what? He is young. He did make his mistakes in preseason, but he made up for it from really nasty pancake blocks out there in Los Angeles, and I think he deserves it.
It didn't help. Nick Martin played.
Yeah, Nick Martin played. I mean,
played lights out.
Nick Martin just played like a great backup center should. So
Jimmy Morrissey is on the practice squad. We got high hopes for next year.
Yeah, I mean, that's all we can do. So that's our draft class. Now, who's the one guy out of this draft class that you're really going to be keen on this year?
I'm not going to go with Hobbs because I know Hobbs got the potential to do it. I'm going to go with Kuntz.
You're going to go with Kuntz?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's everybody because I think, like I said, we haven't had a pass rush in years. Yeah. So, I mean, what was our last best score?
Phillipsy could be another pick there too.
For me, I'm actually going to check out at Trayvon. I know that's kind of a weird thing because it's like, well, he should have been a first rounder, but I mean, really,
sometimes they don't
pan out, and it's like, hey, man, hey, that's why you went in the second, bro. Yep. So I mean, we'll see. But overall, if I were to give it a solid grade, just because of where they were drafted and just because of the needs and everything, I'm going to give it a C+. They got the needs. I wasn't a big fan of the positioning of it, but they got their needs. Okay, nothing you can do. I give it a solid C for right now. So
I agree with that. Maybe a B minus would be I would say B minus, C plus, something like that. Right around there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just everybody's picky and choosy, so we'll see what happens. I mean, we'll see how they look like. And coming up here in about less than a week, when Baltimore, the Ravens, Baltimore's coming to town here in Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada, Monday night. So for the people that don't know Baltimore, they have been really a key factor of what it's like to be a true NFL team for the latter part of the decade. I mean, we know what Baltimore is. They're a running team first. They're run, heavy defense. And when they got to pass, they're going to pass. And this year's going to be a little different because Lamar Jackson is the quarterback. And Lamar Jackson is one of the most athletic, one of the most up-and-coming quarterbacks. When the rest of the crew, the old heads of quarterbacks retire, he's going to be one of those slots of elite quarterback play. I mean, he is what it is. And people are going to be out there saying, well, he can't pass. Well, he was third in passing just a couple seasons ago. So, and that was with no number 1 wide receiver. So Anyway,
Good test for Gus Bradley. In this
I mean,
game.
yeah, I mean, you're gonna bring the juice. Well, I hope you do because Lamar's coming to town, man.
Yeah.
I think this is the crappy part of Lamar as far as Baltimore, and I don't want to sound cocky about it, but I think we're gonna catch them at a good time because their starting running back just went down with an ACL injury, and that's never good. We never wish bad on anybody. It's just that's the game, you know. I mean, that's practice. We just found out that the backup running back, Justice Hill, he went down with an ACL, so he's done for the year. You know, their first rounder, Rashad Bateman, he's not even going to be dressed up for this game. He's dealing with his injuries. He's not even going to be available, I think, the first 3-4 weeks of the NFL season. And again, so they have no wide receiver again. Sammy Watkins is going to be there, but we already kind of know Sammy is one of those, hey, he's a hit or miss type of guy. He's never consistent. A.J. Brown, he's one of the up-and-comer wide receivers in the NFL. It's just Mark Andrews is an amazing tight end, but other than that, that's all they really have. They're really going to have to be keen on trying to really stop Lamar Jackson from breaking loose with his legs because he can beat us with his arms, but if he's beating us with his legs that night too, it's over.
It's over.
It's over. I mean, you can toss that out the window. If you can contain Lamar, then hey, the Ravens have a shot.
Chance.
You have a better shot. I'm not going to say you're going to win. I'm just saying you have a better shot. And again, the Ravens always have an amazing defense. They don't have the names like they usually do, but I'm not gonna discredit the Ravens whatsoever defensively. They're always going to bring it defensively to bring it to Monday Night Football, especially Monday Night Football. So what are your key factors? What do the Raiders got to do to beat the Raiders?
Yeah, man. Well, I'll agree 100% with you. You know, holding the quarterback in his spot, making him throw is just gonna, better your chances. And with from what I understand, Gus Bradley has a defense that's gonna run. They're gonna run rampant all over the field. They're gonna do everything to try to complicate him. And especially on Monday night, opening day, Las Vegas opening day, definitely don't want to get embarrassed. So I would start there, just trying to shut down the quarterback. Obviously, their defense is going to show up. We know that. Ours has to show up too.
Yeah, and that's the thing we've had conversations off camera is, they cannot get embarrassed Monday night. I'm not saying that the Raiders cannot lose either. I mean, if they lose by like a field goal or by like a last-second field goal, hey, they played their hearts out. What I'm saying is they can't lose by 16 because the nation's already in turmoil and the season hasn't even started. I mean, some people are already calling for Mayock's head. Some people are already calling for Chucky's head. And again, some people are already calling for, for a whole turnover, from the top bottom. I mean, from quarterback to punter.
Yeah.
I mean, they're talking. I mean, there's some people in Raider Nation that's already talking about complete turmoil of, should they get embarrassed in week one, then hey, just start cutting. Just start. Yeah, you don't want that. You don't want to do that because, as I mentioned, there's going to be a lot on the line this year for the Raiders, and I mean a lot. And that's the thing we're talking about. They have to make the playoffs. Whatever team they have, they better make it. They have to make it because if they don't, then expect a lot of changes. And expect them to be really heavy changes. I mean, I'm not going to say that Gruden's going to get fired because I think Gruden has, Mark Davis wrapped around his finger. So he's going to play out his 10 years. That's not that. We're talking new general manager, possibly a new staff again, possibly new everything. Other than people that already have long-term contracts, we're talking new everything. And should they get embarrassed Monday night? Remember, the season got extended. It's going to be an even longer season for Raider Nation should they get embarrassed on Monday Night Football against Baltimore. Me personally, the only thing I want to see is just, look, the thing that scares me the most is none of the starters offensively played for preseason. And, if they come out flat week one, I better not hear John Gruden in that press conference. Well, we need time to play together. Well, that's what preseason was for, numbnuts. That's what preseason was for. And that cannot be the excuse should they fall flat on Monday night. If nobody is really connecting, it's like, hey, I don't want to hear on the podium. The only thing I want to hear on that podium is like, hey, man, we got our asses whooped. That's it. I don't want to hear, well, we're rusty because, we didn't gel together. Well, Dick, that's what preseason's for. I mean, I get it. The injuries are there, and people are like, I'm one of those people that it's like, like, well, Patrick Mahomes played, Tom Brady played. And it's like, are you too good for preseason, or like, are you like the whole starting team, the whole starting offensive unit for last year's Super Bowl played? Are you saying that you're too good for preseason? And it's like, well, Junior, you don't want to risk injury. What's the difference if they get hurt week 1 of preseason or week 1 of the regular season?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
well, who's to say? Who's to know?
I mean, that's the thing.
That's why they try to avoid that at any cost. So
and I get it. That's fine. If you want to play like that, that's fine. You want to be smart. You want to play it safe. I get
mean,
it.
If you think about it, we've had conversations about this plenty of times before. What it is you see that in practice. You're seeing the guys go full go with plays that are going to be integrated. They're going to be used week 1. I mean, you see a lot of that stuff. I mean, does it hurt to get them in preseason, a snap or two? Sure, why not? But then again, I mean, it's 1 or 2 snaps, bro. It's not, nothing too crazy.
Yeah, I know that, but I mean, people are acting like, like, oh, well, we don't want to risk injury. It's like, no, that only tells me one thing.
You?
Well, me personally, it's like people are like, hey, me personally, it's like, okay, like if your team is really gonna rally, like if you're telling me one of these starters goes down and our season goes to shit because of that, then we just weren't really a good football team.
Right.
Plain and simple. Plain and simple. I mean, you think the Ravens are tripping out because like, oh shit, we lost J.K. Dobbins. Well,
I mean, do you think it has maybe something to do with maybe the season being extended now with more
it could
games?
Be. It could be.
Like,
look, it
they're
could
going to
be.
see their share of snaps.
Look, I get it. It could be that, and it could be that. But I mean, do you think teams like Baltimore and other people that lost their starters are like, oh crap, well, our season's done because our starters down? No, they're like, all right, well, here you go.
It helps to have them.
Yeah, it helps, but I mean, teams like Baltimore and all these guys that are saying, well, I mean, they lost their starters. It's like, yeah, but the thing is, they always find a way.
Yeah.
With us, it's like, if we lose a starter, oh, there goes our season.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean,
It's like we're already skating on thin ice
If you're telling me that Andre James is our key center and we lose him and you're saying that because of that, we might be in trouble the rest of the year, then how good of an offseason did we really have?
Yeah.
So, again,
I agree.
We'll see. I mean, that's always going to be the factor when it comes to preseason. Should they play? Should they not play? Me personally, play because, look, man, what's the difference if you get hurt week 1 preseason compared to if you get hurt week 1?
A couple drives doesn't hurt.
And if you do get hurt, then hey, it happens. That's the game.
The defense, I think the starting defense had a couple, right?
Well, they had a couple.
Did Yannick even play? No.
I don't think Yannick. I mean, I know.
Okay, maybe they did keep
Pharrell. I know Pharrell had to play because he's now in that second tier, which kind of that sucks.
So bad for him, man.
That sucks.
Again,
man.
That's what we were talking about earlier. It's like you cannot be mad at the player for being drafted where he was drafted at by the club.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where, that's the draft.
I mean, sometimes some general managers think that they're smarter. They have that house smarter than everybody else in this room. But sometimes, even as fans, we can even see that. We can see draft picks from a mile away. And there's sometimes, like, especially when it comes to your own fan base and your own clubs, you're just like, yeah, I saw that.
And Cleve Farrell is not bad by any means. He's just not.
Is he
fourth round?
Is he number 4 overall worthy? No. Does he deserve to play in the NFL? Yeah, because he's shown that he could play. And he's done some really good things, but I would have never looked at him 4th overall. No, that was like that wasn't even a thing.
It was a reach
again, and that's again we go back to it. Tanner Hughes gone now, Lynn Bowden gone. Didn't even play 1 snap for us, and they're not even on our squad anymore. And those guys were just drafted last year.
To think a 3rd rounder is the guys that we're talking about right now is disgusting.
Those are starters still. There's still starters out there.
Wow.
I mean, it happens. I mean, that's the thing. Sometimes some general managers just have the I'm smarter than everybody else in this room, when all you have to do sometimes is just, hey, play the draft. Play who fell in front of you. Yeah, I get it. You had to trade up to get Trayvon Moehrig, and that's fine because he had all the intangibles coming out of the draft. He looked good at his pro day. That's understandable. But was Cleve Farrell really that high on your guys' draft board to take him 4th overall? When you had guys like, I don't know, Devin White, Devin Bush, Ed Oliver, Just to name you a couple.
Ed Oliver was the guy on my list, I think.
So again, not really one of those things where sometimes you just have to play with the cards you got instead of trying to get on a 21 when you're already on a 19. Just play it safe, man. Just play it safe. But you got any predictions for this game? What do you got? You got anything crazy?
You know what, man? Honestly, I think the Raiders find a way to pull it off. I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to be pretty not easy, but I mean, pretty basic. The game plan: go in there, stop the quarterback, man.
Yeah,
you gotta stop him.
To me, this feels like a game that whoever controls the trenches, that's going to control the game. Because really, both of these teams are very similar in very different ways. They both have an amazing run game. They'll throw when they have to, and their defense is going to make the stops when they have to make the stops.
And not only that, then we're at home, and the nation's going to be out there in full force, man. It's opening day for
and that's a scary thing. If the
first
Raiders
time in the Legion,
and that's the scary thing. If the Raiders lay an egg on Monday night, believe me, the fans are going to be livid, and it's going to be a scary sight. Because smart, fans that are true fans, they're going to throw their 2 cents in there. And trust me, they're not going to be heard. They might not be heard, but, they're going to be felt. They're going to be felt. And to me, the way I see it, this game's going to be one of those trenches games where whoever offensive line can stop the opposing defensive line, that's going to be the game. Because we know that both teams are run heavy. They'll throw when they have to. And they both have – and special teams they're both even on special teams. I'm not saying that Daniel Carlson is anywhere clearly close to Justin Tucker, because Justin Tucker is just the best kicker in the league. But Daniel Carlson still has a leg, and he should be able to at least keep us in check should things go haywire.
Yeah, I want to see Carlson get a little bit better this year too. I mean, I'm just so used to having a stud like Janikowski there all those years. You know what I mean? I know I'm old school like that, but you get used to that, and it's like every now and again, Daniel Carlson goes on a little rant and starts missing here and there. We'll see. But if I give a prediction, I'll go 24-21 Raiders.
Okay, yeah. You know me, I don't give up predictions here because I have my Monday show or my weekly pick show tomorrow. So that's the season 2 of that one on this very same station, same everything. It's going to be all here tomorrow, but Tuesdays are our Raider show. So again, check us out every Tuesday, 8 p.m. here on Facebook and on Instagram. And like I said, we'll be posting it and everything. And like I said, it's going to be a fun game. It's going to be a fun game because now, we were there for preseason, but, now it's the real thing. The fans are going to be wild. The fans are going to be fun. They're going to be ready to go. And if for any reason anybody in the organization for the Raiders gets this video, do not lay an egg, because I'm going to tell you right now, the nation's going to be pissed. The true Raider fans are going to be pissed. And like I said, you're not going to be able to hear every single one of us, but you will feel us. And trust me when I tell you this, you lay an egg on Monday night,
it's not going to be good, huh?
It ain't going to be pretty, I'll tell you that. And Nevada, God bless you, because I don't know if you guys know what you guys got yourself into buying an NFL team coming down here. It's a little different. It's okay if the Golden Knights lose because it's hockey and only, I'm not gonna bash it because I love hockey too, but it's a little different. It's a little different. Picture it like this: if the Lakers lose an NBA Finals, if the Lakers win an NBA Finals, they burn the city to the ground. If they lose an NBA Finals, they double burn the city into the ground. Okay, so picture that: if the Raiders lose, Nevada, get ready.
And it's not even the Super Bowl.
And it's just game 1. It's just Monday Night Football. So, well, bro, great way to kick it off. We'll see what happens next week. Next week's shows, we'll recap the Monday Nighter that we're all looking forward to. And we'll get ready for the Steelers, man. That's always
that's going to be fun.
I mean, regardless of records, it always seems that the Raiders versus the Steelers throw the records out the window.
It's just fun to see those 2 teams together.
Because, I've seen games where the Raiders play the Steelers, and the Steelers have way better record than we do, and somehow the Raiders come out on top. And then sometimes we'll have the better record, and the Steelers find a way to win. Right. So whatever the record is next week, whether they're both 0-1, both 1-0, or whatever it is, throw those records out the window, because those games always come down to literally a field goal or a touchdown drive. That's what it comes down to. And I'm always excited for those games. Those games are always fun to watch. So other than that, bro, I will see you next Tuesday. Anything over there? We all good? All right, that's it. So everybody, we will see you all next Tuesday. Take it easy. And bam, you're done, bro.